Alan Hirsch Advisors, Creating Aha Moments, presents Aha Business Podcasts. We provide opportunities to discover information to help you run your business and guide your decision making. The more you know, the better decisions you make. For more information, log on to alanhirschadvisors.com. I'm your host, Alan Hirsch. Attention business owners. Has your business suffered financially from COVID-19? If so, let us help. I'm Alan Hirsch, a member of Business Coaches Assembled under a grant from the Small Business Breakthrough Executive Team. Our mission is to help business owners who have seen their revenues negatively impacted by 20% or more due to the virus. We can help you recover $50,000 to $70,000 or more of your lost revenue over the next 90 to 120 days. For more information, go to www.ahaonlinelearning.com to receive my book, 45-Minute Breakthroughs. That's go to www.ahaonlinelearning.com. Welcome to the podcast. My guest tonight is Teddy Burriss of Burriss Consulting. So Ted, what motivates you to get up in the morning and go to work?
Okay, so on the life side, I have a wife of 43 years who expects me to pay the bills. That might be part of the motivation. But the real motivation for me, Alan, is that I love to have conversations with people and I love to help people have better conversations with others. And in my job, every week I get to meet 15, 20, 30 new people and strike up new conversations in one way or another. And that is truly rewarding for me.
Well, that to me, that's the same thing. I believe in helping people in making a difference in their lives. So by reaching out and connecting and with you and anybody else that I connect with is really why I asked that question. It's why do you do what you do? So, what do you do?
My purpose, I have two pretty deliberate pieces to my business. One is today, the primary piece. The primary piece is I'm a LinkedIn strategist. So I teach business professionals in all types of industries, predominantly B2B, but I also do some B2C and recently worked with a minister of a church. I teach people how to use LinkedIn purposefully, how to build a presence that very clearly says, this is who I am and what I do, how to build the right network. And there's lots of pieces to each of these steps that people need to understand. And then the third piece that complements building your presence and building your network, the third piece is building your brand. And your brand is built on the words that you utter on LinkedIn and the conversations that you get into. So that's what I teach.
That's great. So why and when did you get started with this business?
Way back when, in 2005, I took my very first sales job. And then the intent of taking that sales job was to practice selling for 5 or 6 years so that I could go start my own business. Because prior to that, I'd spent 30 some odd years in the IT industry doing pretty much everything in technology you can do, from getting my fingers dirty inside of a computer to doing design and strategy and consulting and all area, and even staffing in technology. And I decided that I was going to go do my own thing and I needed to go learn how to sell. So I took this sales job in 2005. And when I asked the guy who hired me, Alan, I asked him, tell me the one thing that you know, if I do it well enough and do enough of it, I'll be successful as a sales professional. And I bet you know the answer. He said to me, I want you to cold call all day long until you get a conversation with somebody who wants to buy our widget. Alan, I looked him right square in the eye. I just quit my corporate job. I then handed in the keys to the hangar where the Learjet was, gave them the keys back to the brand new company car, gave them the Visa back for my unchallenged expense account. And I took this job with this guy. So I looked him right square in the eye, Alan, and I said to him with all the backbone I had to muster, yes, sir, I'll do that. But Alan, I had no desire to be a cold calling fanatic. Not that I'm afraid of cold calling, I do it. But I know that there are better ways to build a business.
Correct.
So I went on a journey while I'm cold calling for this guy because I had no other tactic in place. I went on a journey and I studied lots of really cool dead people. Dale Carnegie, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Zig Ziglar, who by the way wasn't dead back then, Norman Vincent Peale. I studied all these people about relationships. And Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, stuck me the most, poked me the hardest. And then I went on a journey to learn how to be a really good networker. And in that process, I discovered that it was all about a conversation, and I had to find ways to get into more conversations with the right people. So I didn't have enough time or shoe leather or gas to run all over the place and meet people in real life. So a friend of mine said, Teddy, you should check out this thing called LinkedIn. So I got on LinkedIn and I was like, man, I don't know. But I started realizing that all the people that I wanted to have a conversation with were on there. Most of them were on there. They weren't doing anything. They were hard to get a hold of, but they were there. And then I just started discovering other ways once I found the person I wanted to meet to get introduced to them. And then I found ways to, build my presence. And so people saw my profile, they know I was a serious participant in the business that they were in. So bottom line, Alan, in 2005 through 2010, I discovered the value of LinkedIn. And in late 2009, my wife and I put together a business plan to go out and teach people how to use LinkedIn as a business tool. December 15th, 2010, I handed the keys to the company car to this guy who hired me as a sales guy. And I said goodbye. And I haven't looked back since then.
So why should business professionals spend more time using LinkedIn?
Well, there are 720 million people, roughly, give or take a few million, on LinkedIn today. There are approximately 2 new people on LinkedIn every second. And that's, I measure that. I have a tool to measure that. It's pretty consistent over the last 10 years. Also, business professionals who are looking for resources will often reach into their network for an introduction to a resource, whether that resource is a candidate, whether that resource is a business partner, or maybe it's a knowledge source. Maybe the resource they're looking for is, a new client. So we often will ask our network, the people who we trust and respect in our network, to introduce us to other people. And so on LinkedIn, if you build a decent presence, if you build and keep growing your network, if you engage in meaningful ways, you create a whole nother channel or a location or a space to become trusted, respected, and even liked, thus create an opportunity to be referred to others.
So with LinkedIn, how important is it in business, and why should someone in business be on LinkedIn?
So I'm going to take out the word business, Alan. It's not just business. I don't network just for business. I network beyond business. I mean, yes, networking is a big part of growing my business, but I also network to meet people and show up on really cool podcasts. I network to meet people, to be a part of their volunteer programs. By the way, the other part of my business that I didn't tell you about yet is that I have a combination of volunteer and whole series of activities where I help the unemployed figure out how to find jobs. And LinkedIn is a huge part of that. So professionals in all types of businesses, all types of industries should look at LinkedIn, specifically their profile. They should look at LinkedIn as a channel to that next conversation. If they do it right, if they engage right, and they build the right presence and they connect with the right people, it's just like walking into a networking event. You walk into a networking event, you look good. You've got your best jacket on, your shirt's clean, you combed your hair, or in my case, as much of it as I can comb.
Or if you have any.
Yeah. Yeah. Your shoes are shiny, you look good. This is called presence. On social media, it's called social presence. You build a decent profile.
So what goes in to building a good profile?
Well, everything that you put on your LinkedIn profile has to be directly connected to one word: relevance. Everything you put on your LinkedIn profile needs to be relevant to who you are and what you do today. So it starts with your picture, and then it goes to your headline, and 11 other areas of LinkedIn. You think about, what content am I putting on here? And it better be either directly relevant to who I am and what I do today, or showing serious professional growth to who I am and what I do today. Most people look at LinkedIn and they think resume. It's not a resume. Alan, your LinkedIn profile is more analogous to a brochure. If you go look at the brand new 2021 Tesla. Have you looked at that car yet, Alan?
No.
Okay, neither have I. But look at the brand new 2021 Tesla. Look at the brochures for that car. The brochure of that car is very deliberately written. It's focused on the target audience who will buy that car.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably not focused on Teddy. I'm an F-150 guy. Okay. The other thing about the brochure for the 2021 Tesla is all the words throughout there, all the words they use are words that poke the gray matter of their target audience and make them think, get them excited, get them eager, get them to want to come in and do a test drive. And one third piece about that brochure that I'm pretty sure about, they talk about the 2021 model. They don't talk about the 2020 model. Relevant to that model today, they may talk a little history about Tesla, but it's going to show growth. They're not going to talk all about the 2019 model.
Right.
You think brochure when your LinkedIn profile, not resume.
Okay. And so if someone is a job seeker, he needs to adjust his profile to talk about what he's good at as a brochure or job hunters who are looking for the next employee that might need his talents.
Yeah, so absolutely. You're going to talk about your skills, your expertise, your accomplishments, your successes, your professional growth, all in the context of what it is that you want to do. And with people who write resumes, they adjust and pivot and tweak and twist and bend resumes based on who they're firing them off to. You can't do that with a LinkedIn profile. You get one profile. Right. So you better make that profile be as focused as you can on that ideal job that you're seeking, that ideal job that you want. More than likely, it's going to be somewhat relevant to what you have done, but not always. 35 years as an IT consultant. Go look at my LinkedIn profile today, and I promise you, I hope I'm saying this right, that you won't find anything about IT consulting, because that's not what this model is today.
Right. You're right. You shouldn't. you need to adjust your, as they say, you need to adjust the subject matter to meet your needs today.
Yeah. Yeah. Marketing 101.
Right. So, how important is the LinkedIn profile in business? How much do you connect, and how do you connect?
Yeah. So your profile is vital. That second piece is the network. I get people all day long who have 2 or 3 different philosophies about connecting. I meet people who go, Teddy, I'm only going to connect with people I meet in real life. Okay, so you're limiting.
Excuse me. In the last 11 months, there haven't been many of them.
Yes, sir. Hey, Al, I gave away my very first business card the other day, man. In the last year, I gave someone a business card a couple days ago. I walked into the local telephone company that in my hometown because I had a question for him, and he said, "Well, give me your phone." And I'm wearing a mask and all that stuff that I should be doing. He said, "Well, give me your phone number." I said, "Wait a minute, dude." Pulled out my wallet. I had a business card. I was like, "Here's my business card." That was so fun.
Yes.
But Alan, even during this pandemic, we're meeting people every day.
Absolutely.
We're just, to me, this is as live as it can get for the most part. This is as live as it can get. But I get people who say, I only want to connect with people who I know or who I've met. And then I get the other end of the spectrum of people who send out invites with reckless abandon, and they connect with every Tom, Dick, Harry, Susan, and Betty they can. And those are both, even though they're, they're both significantly different, they're the wrong answer. The right answer is you should be connecting with people who are relevant to you. You should be connecting with people that you do meet. You should be connecting with people that you get introduced to. You should be connecting with primarily what I refer to in marketing as your target audience and their influencers. And then as you're connecting, you don't just collect, there we go. You don't just collect a bucket of business cards on LinkedIn. You engage with them immediately. And as Dale Carnegie said, you make the conversation all about them.
Okay. With that, we're going to take a break for commercials. And when we come back, I'm going to continue this conversation with Teddy Burriss of Burriss Consulting. I'm Alan Hirsch of Alan Hirsch Advisors, and this is AHA Business Podcast.
Hi, Rick Dempsey here. As a former Oriole and Series MVP, I know a lot about winning and championship teams. Today, I am happy to tell you about my award-winning web design and internet marketing team, Adventure Web Interactive. For over 2 decades, many of Maryland's most successful firms have chosen Adventure Web as their strategic partner for web design and online marketing. I can tell you from using them personally, their search engine optimization and social media programs have saved their clients tens of thousands over the traditional pay-per-click digital agency. Visit adventurewebinteractive.com and listen to what clients such as Hercules Fence, TriStar Electric, ABC Rental, Rhine Landscaping, Markdown's Office Furniture, and many more highly successful firms have to say. And don't forget to tell them Rick Dempsey sent you.
Strengthen, protect, and preserve your retirement nest egg. Scott Garceau here for the Stephen J. Sless Group, Baltimore's reverse mortgage specialist. Reverse mortgages have evolved to become a viable retirement tool. Enjoy retirement without monthly mortgage payments, improve cash flow, pay off debt, and stretch retirement savings. Stephen and his team can offer strategies to make housing wealth work for you. If you're 62 or older, learn if a reverse mortgage could help. Visit reversebaltimore.com.
An equal housing opportunity lender. This is not a commitment to lend. Stephen J. Sless, NMLS 298581. PRMI NMLS 3094.
Welcome back to the show. My guest today is Teddy Burriss of Burriss Consulting. Welcome back, Teddy. We were talking before the break about the use of the network that you develop on LinkedIn. So you had one extreme that networks with everybody and one who networks only with people he knows. So why is it important to, first of all, network on LinkedIn, and then to make sure that you're networking with the right people?
Oh, Lordy. Time, priority, and goals. So, everything you do, Alan, do you know what a BHAG is?
No, I know what a
Oh,
hag
man.
is, but I don't know what a BHAG is.
A BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal.
Okay.
So I know you've heard this term.
I've heard that before. I've never heard it, with
The
big
A
hag.
is different with Teddy than what other people use for the A.
Right.
Big, hairy, audacious goal.
Right.
Look, at the end of the day, when I get out of bed, I know what my goal is. My goal is twofold: to help others and to grow my business. That's my goal. That's two-pronged: help others and to grow my business. And in the process of helping others, Alan, I do that with no expectations. That's critical. So if I'm going to use LinkedIn, if I'm going to build a presence, if I'm going to build a network, I've got to be thinking about those two goals. And one of the things that I'm open to every day is if someone I don't know sends me an invite and says, Teddy, Alan Hirsch told me to connect with you, I'm going to immediately accept his invitation. I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to strike up a conversation, because you're going to introduce him to me for some reason related to his needs. And they might be personal, they might be career, they might be business or community. And I don't care. Because you told someone to meet me, I'm going to meet him and strike up a conversation with him and see what I can do to help him. That's helping people. And by the way, if I help this guy, that's going to make you feel good because you sent him to the right person.
Right.
Okay. So big, hairy, audacious goal: help others and grow my business. Also along the way, I'm also, this is what I teach people to do with LinkedIn. I'm going to look for an opportunity to find someone who may have an interest, not want to buy, but have an interest in a conversation regarding what I do. That's rich. Too often people in sales roles are trying to, find that person who has that checking account who's willing to open up and write a check today. And that doesn't happen more often than not.
Well, it takes 7 to 12 contacts.
Yep. And it takes building trust, respect, and often like. So I'm always looking for a conversation, or looking for the right person to have a conversation with. Now, I'm not looking for the people who need my help and don't have money. I don't need to look for them, because my friends, my network are going to point them to me. And I want that to happen. Because if you help someone with no expectations, a year down the road, they may have a role where they need your services. And then you're going to be willing to have that conversation, and they're going to be willing to have the conversation because you help them with no expectations. So as you're growing your network, you need to be willing to connect with people who need your help while you're looking to connect with people who may be interested in a conversation about your products, services, or widget. And this is huge. And if you do this right, it can grow your business. If you do this right, it can also do this, Alan. It can uncover opportunities that you've never even thought about. And this is critical in social networking.
So should we be building the largest possible LinkedIn network? Or are we, for me, I'm after the CEO business owner.
Yeah.
As an executive coach, I work with CEOs and business owners. But should I be building the network of other people in the hope that they become a CEO or business owner?
Yeah, it's a great question. And the answer that I have is this: it's not about how big your network is. It's more importantly, It's about, is your network continuing to grow? Does it keep growing? A little bit, keeps growing. And are you connecting with the right people? And are you developing some level of trust, respect, and like with those individuals? Look, you don't have to connect with every CEO who has a need for what you do. But what you can do is be connecting all around those CEOs and find people who may know them, who can introduce you to them. And you might connect with somebody who does something similar to what you do in a slightly different way. And they may know 10 or 15 CEOs who need to know you. So it's not about how big it is. It's about, is it continuously growing at whatever rate? You know, I tell people, connect with someone new every day of your life. Connect with someone new every day of your life. And then, are you developing some level of trust, respect, and like with those people, so that they're going to go, oh my God, this Alan Hirsch dude is spot on with his ideas. I need to introduce to him to my friend, Steve, who's a CEO of a small to medium company that needs to have a conversation with Alan. That's the magic. You keep it growing, focused on your BHAG.
So the answer to the question, it's not really the quantity you're trying to build, but it's the quality.
Yes, sir. It's the relationships that you're developing along the way. Isn't that also true in life, Alan?
Yes, but so many people go at it and connect with all kinds of people.
Yeah, they collect business cards.
Yeah, they collect, absolutely, they collect business cards. And interesting enough, in this period of the pandemic, for the last 11 months, you've proven that business cards aren't what they're made out to be. You make better contacts by being, live with people on Zoom or whatever the platform is.
Show you're a human.
You can get better results that way than actually going out and networking and glad handing everybody by shaking their hand and exchanging business cards.
Yeah. Alan, when I took my very first sales job, this guy gives me my box of business cards. He gives me my first box of 500 business cards. And he said, give them out to everybody you meet. And so I'm like, okay. So I started doling them out sort of kind of with reckless abandon. In about 3 weeks, I come back and I say, I'm out of business cards. And he's like, oh my God, you gave them all out. That's so great. I'm like, why? Why is that so great? Give me another 500. I'll dole them out too. Doling out business cards and doling out brochures does not create business.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. So in LinkedIn, how much content should we post? Should it be every day?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, it shouldn't be every day. Here's where people fail. And I do this, I fail at this my own self every now and then and remind myself, I need to get a bat. Alan, I wrote a note down. I need to get a baseball bat and put a baseball bat in my corner, okay? And here's why I need a baseball bat. When I make dumb mistakes, I need to hit myself in the head. Because we all do this.
Does it feel better when you quit?
Yes, sir. Feels better when you change the way you do things and do it better. Here's what I see all over the place, Alan. Corporations pump out content with, all day long. They pump out marketing content. It goes on their LinkedIn, their Facebook, their Twitter, their YouTube, Instagram. They brochures up the yin yang. And I get it. Brochures have value. But social media is not designed to be the channel for your corporate brochures. The word social media is designed for two humans to get into a conversation. So when I see people who the only thing they do is share the corporate content, then I want to call them up and ask them, what would you do if every day I walked up to you and handed you a brochure from Burriss Consulting? How would you feel if every day I walked up to you and handed you a new brochure? Every day, a new brochure. Would you eventually jump over to the other side of the street when you see me coming?
Yes.
Well, the same thing on social media. And
So,
so my,
okay. So
my
it's not every day.
so here's another view that's important to think about. As I'm not sure why my camera just got fuzzy. Here's another view. Instead of constantly dropping content in LinkedIn, jump into your target audience's conversations. Show up with a thought, show up with an idea, show up with a perspective, and get into their conversations in meaningful ways. And you're going to create greater value than if all you do is share content every day.
Okay. Well, what about buying ads on LinkedIn or posting? I post the upcoming podcast every week in LinkedIn to advise the potential clients and that the podcast is going on. Is that a good use of the LinkedIn space?
If it is intertwined with other useful content. If the only thing you're dropping on LinkedIn is your podcast, then you're going to alienate a certain part of your audience who are not overly interested in your podcast. There's another side to that too, Alan. Hang on 1 minute. I got to make sure. Give me 1 second.
Well, you'll see that break.
Yeah,
There you
thank
go.
you. So here's another thought about this. I'm fine with people sharing their events, their podcasts, but intermix it. And you want to intermix it with different types of content. Example: if all you share is your podcast, you're missing out on people who are interested in articles. You're missing out on people who are interested in images. You're missing out on people who are interested in other videos or maybe little quotes. It's called diversity of content. Alan, we all want to consume different types of content. I may be a video guy. You may be an article guy. And somebody else might be a white paper guy or a case study guy. And you obviously have a group of people who are interested in podcasts, but you also have an audience on your LinkedIn network who are interested in different types of food. So you got to diversify. It's sort of along the lines. My analogy is that, you and I probably haven't done this in a while, but if you feed an infant baby split peas every day, and you're going to have that same face. You have split pea all over you. But if every now and then you throw in some peaches or you throw in some, carrots, they're going to get diversity and they're going to enjoy diversity.
Okay. So what's the most important thing we can do when using LinkedIn?
Be focused on your BHAG. That's number one. Be focused on your goal. Number two, remember, it's two humans having a conversation. So know the best way to have a conversation. And for those who hear this, if you've not read Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, read that. It can be vital to help you really become a better engager, a better networker, a better conversationalist. So focus on your goal. Get into conversations with the right people and try to move them into where relevant and appropriate into deeper conversations that can be mutually beneficial. This is not so. I don't like the phrase social selling, Alan. That so many people use this all the time because that gives people the mindset that we're here to sell. Now, my goal might be to sell. But I have stepping stone goals called SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Those stepping stone goals can, if I do them right, will move me to the conversation that can move me into the business discussion.
Okay. So really the last question. should business, unless something else comes up, should business professionals pay for premium subscriptions to LinkedIn?
So my satirical answer to that is, look, if you don't know how to use LinkedIn today, if you're not getting business value from LinkedIn today, then send that money to me and don't pay LinkedIn for it, because I'll teach you how to do it the right way. That's my satirical answer, Alan. Let me give you a more practical answer. No, do not pay for premium LinkedIn until it makes sense for you to pay for premium LinkedIn. And you'll know when it makes sense when you've learned how to build your presence, build your network, build your reputation, and you're using the LinkedIn tools enough that you're running into barriers. And the biggest barrier that you're going to run into that could be a catalyst for paying for LinkedIn, or a trigger for paying for LinkedIn, is when you run into what's called the commercial use limit. And what that means is you are searching enough every month that LinkedIn puts a barrier and does not allow you to see any more profiles. When you hit that barrier and you are sitting there in tears because you want to look at more profiles because you're looking at them for the right reason, focus on your BHAG, then whip out the credit card and subscribe to either Business Premium or Sales Navigator. But when you do that, Alan, this is the coaching I tell everybody, do not subscribe on a yearly basis, because you've not used this tool to that level yet. Subscribe on a month-to-month basis. Prove to yourself that that tool is worthy of paying for. And once you've proven that to yourself, convert to an annual agreement, which saves you 20%, and then keep doing the things that you know will move you forward.
Well, unless you can think about anything else on LinkedIn that for clients, for listeners to this podcast, I want to thank you very much for the attending, for being a guest. And how can the people reach you?
So it's really easy. If anybody wants to find Teddy Burriss and learn more about who he is, just do a Google search for Teddy Burriss, Teddy, last name Burriss. If you can't find me, I've failed miserably. If you listen to this podcast and you want to have a conversation with me, or you want to connect, please send me a LinkedIn invite and remind me that you heard me on Alan Hirsch's AHA podcast. That way I'll know where you came from, and there'll be more relevance so that we can have a conversation.
Well, again, thank you very much for being my guest. I'm Alan Hirsch of Alan Hirsch Advisors. To reach me, visit my website, www.ahaonlinelearning.com, and register to get my free book, 45-Minute Breakthroughs. You can listen to the podcast of past shows wherever you get your podcast by subscribing to AHA Business Podcast. You can email me at www.alan@alanhirschadvisors.com. You may follow me on LinkedIn at Alan Hirsch. I'm Alan Hirsch, and this has been AHA Business Podcast.